The other day I posted this video. Actually, I posted this video and this blog post on integrating Stripe payments with Ionic React, Capacitor, and Node.js, and I did it just for React. The awesome thing about Ionic and Capacitor, because that's kind of really what's powering all of this, is that you can use it with React, you can use it with Angular, you can use it with Vue.js. I write a lot of content for Vue.js, and I figured let's just quickly put together this exact same demo app for Vue.js. I'm going to borrow some stuff from this specific video in here, specifically let me scroll down, specifically the Node.js part down here, all the server part, where we create the local Node Express server that will handle creating the payment intent for us. But the rest will be a Vue.js app. We'll lean heavily on the code that already exists here in this blog post, but I will make a separate blog post specifically for Vue.js just for SEO, so that when people are searching for it, they'll find it. But that's what I'm going to do. So make sure you like and subscribe. Please share with your friends, and let's get going. I think I can actually start just using a lot of what we already have here. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow my own blog post, but for the React stuff, we'll just switch it to Vue. So we can start here with our Ionic start. We are going to, let's make sure we say Vue. And we're going to call this Stripe Ionic Vue. And that should get us started. Oh, let's make sure we say Ionic 7. And we're going to do blank. And then the next, let's let this finish up. Node. We have some node errors, but I think we'll be able to get past that. So the next thing we're going to do, let's change into our project. And what we want to do is let's install the Capacitor Stripe plugin that I just mentioned. So let's do an npm install on that guy. And I think that's all we need for now. So let's switch over. Let me see, do I need any plugin? Do I need anything special for? No, we'll wait till we do the node server. All right, so let's switch over to the code right now and start to write some code. Okay, so we have our Vue application. Once again, I'm going to be using the Ionic plugin that we have here. I find it way easier than using the command line. You can see that it shows us that I have the Stripe plugin installed here and all the other plugins that I have installed in. And it's also way easier to kind of build and deploy my application. So for now, let's just start up the web application. Okay, I'm not concerned about that. And so here's our web application right now. We haven't done anything at all to it. But what we want to do, like I said, we want to have an app that looks like this, but written in Vue. So we know we need to initialize our plugin, and also I need to create my environment variables. And what I'll do for that is I'm just going to copy the environment files I have previously because I want all the same keys, but I will have to change the way the keys are handled because it's using Vite, and the way that Vite imports is different than clearly React app Stripe publishable key. So first, let's close that preview. Let's get back to my code, and we can move this down if you don't need this. And let's go to main TS and scroll down, and clearly we need this code. So we want to make sure that Stripe is initialized. Sorry, I'm not in main. I'm going to use an app, my app view. So we'll come down here and inside the script section, we'll add the additional imports, and then let me close that. We'll add the additional imports, and then we'll check if capacitor is available, and then we'll initialize Stripe. And let's see, what is this? That's a promise. I know that this is going to be something like import.meta, and then it should be, I believe that it's going to be something like beat Stripe publishable key. We'll straighten that out when I set up the .env file. But this is what we want to do to initialize. This is what we want to do to initialize the Stripe plugin. And then the next thing is you can see that we've created this checkout button component that we've laid into our home page. So let's go to our home page, and we'll do the usual with the Ionic. We'll clear out all the crap in here that we don't want. So we'll take all this stuff out, and we will call this Stripe Ionic Vue. And there's full screen. Let's padding. Sorry. Class Ion padding. And then in here, we're going to create our Stripe. Stripe checkout. Checkout button component. And now let's go up here and create components, components. And then inside of here, we will create our Stripe checkout button, vue. And we need basically a single file component. So kind of the whole template, blah, blah, blah. So let's just put our template. Template. And then we want our script. We're going to do a setup. I don't know why it puts that in there. TS. And then, like I said, because it's great that Capacitor works on all these different JavaScript frameworks. So I could pretty much lift all of this code. The only thing I need to change is this state. So we're going to just take all of it. Yep. Handle checkout. No, there's only one function. It's called handle checkout. And I believe, it's the whole thing. So we're going to take the handle checkout, drop that in here. Let me get us some more space here. We need my imports. So let's import Stripe. Oh, actually, I just realized I don't think I installed Stripe initially. Well, let's check my package.json. Did I? No, I did not install Stripe. Let's see, did I not include that in my instructions? Well, I need to update my instructions here because I don't say to install Stripe. Do I? Oh, I end up importing it down here, but I should add that to the top so it doesn't get skipped. So let's go down here and go into my terminal, do an npm import Stripe. What am I doing? npm install. Okay. So I'll go back to my checkout button, and we have Stripe. And we can't do the loading that way. We need to do it the Vue way. So let's just go in here and say const. Well, not in there. Load here. Const loading equals ref basically, and it starts out as false. It's not loading. Let's import ref from view, and then right here we're just going to say loading dot value equals true, indicate that we're loading. And let's go down here, and then here loading dot value equals false on error, and then, well, finally you'll catch at the end of everything. So I think we've now modified this thing to do what it's supposed to do. Once again, we need to, nope, I think that's it. It's really that straightforward, but to walk through the code, since I doubt you watch React videos. So basically what we're doing is, first of all, let me see, is this guy running yet? Ionic Stripe Vue, why is my button not showing? Right. Oh, I didn't import it. So let's go back to my home page and import Stripe checkout button view, and Stripe import okay. I didn't actually add the button to my template. And so if we look at what we have here, just copy this. And basically we're going to have an Ion button, and on click, it's going to call our handle checkout function. And then we're going to use the loading to determine if we should disable this thing or not. And let's just change this to the view way, so it'll be Ion button. We'll go with hyphens instead of the camel case. And then loading, this is fine because it unwraps the reference in the template. So let's see what we have now. Oh, where's it go? Oh, it doesn't like my title this way. So there we go. Oh, I check out payment sheet. Then when I click, it tries to execute something. Looks like I need to do a little bit better error handling. Let's see. Payment failed, type error, failed to fetch. Fetch is there. Let's see. Oh, it's having some other issues. Let me import my Ion button. I haven't imported anything here. So import Ion button, Ionic Vue. Let's try and get rid of the basic errors first. Now that's it. It's throwing the error because it doesn't work in, basically it does not work inside of a web view. So we actually need a component. So let's go back to our home page. Let's fix my padding. So we have my padding, and it's throwing the error. Well, first it's also throwing the error because there's post. We haven't written the server. So let's get the Node server spun up. So the way that I did the Node server is we're just going to create another directory inside of this project called server. So let's just do that. And let's kind of move it up to the top. And inside of here, let's go down. close this. And let's see, actually, let's create a separate terminal for the server. So cd server, and let's do npm init. Package name server's fine. Just take all the basics. And so that should have created our npm, our package.json in the directory. And then the next thing we'll do is we need to install. So I've done this, I made my directory, I did an init, and then now I need to install all these libraries for it. So let's copy all of them. Also, this whole thing is assuming that you already have your Stripe account set up, and I will include a link in the video description and also in the blog post on how to set up your Stripe account. And then, because I need .m to get my values, we are going to also do install .m save. Okay, so we have all the libraries that we need installed. And as it said here, this is kind of the basics that you need to get your Express server up and running. Let's put that in and then kind of walk through the code. So what did I say my default was? Index.js. So let's come up in here. We're going to add a new folder, new file, index.js. And we are just going to copy this code. Because like I said, the same Node server is going to run in React or Vue, so let's just copy it. So we have everything we need there, but then we need this create payment intent. I extracted it out to a separate file, and so let's create that file. New file. So create payment intent. And then we'll come down here and we'll copy this code and we'll kind of walk through what's happening here. What is this? Okay, all right. So let's go back to the top of the server. So when I spin this server up, it's basically going to be listening on port 3000, and it only has one route, and it's this create payment intent route, and it only will accept it on a post. And then when the server gets this request, it will call the function create payment intent that we just put in our create payment intent file. And over here we have this .m, which will load the .m, and then it will get us our secret from our environment file. And then when it attempts to execute this function, it will pull an amount and currency off the body, where if I go back to my Stripe checkout button, you can see when I do this post, I'm passing in an amount and the currency of US dollars. You can add additional information on here if you want to pass it all the way through the whole payment flow. So I'm calling Stripe payment intents. I give it an amount, I give it a currency, and then it returns this client secret that I need to pass here in my client. I need this client secret that I pass to create the payment sheet. And then once the payment sheet is created, then I can call Stripe present payment sheet, and it gives me a result if the result was successful or not. And then that's it. Stripe handles everything else. The way the plugin's written and Stripe API is written, it kind of packages everything up nice and neatly for you to easily integrate payment into your mobile application. So, where are we now? We need to set up our environment variables, which I will go off and do. Well, let me just kind of give you a heads up. We need to create one inside of this directory, so .env. And in here, we need this Stripe secret key. So this is a .env in my server, and that will have a Stripe secret key, and I will add that value there. And then I also need, so that's for the server, but then down here for my app, I need a .env. .env. And then for this one, let's go back to my main. No, I did it in my app. In app, and I need this key. So let's go here, and then I need a key. And so let's see if I can get that error to go away. It should. Well, let's go back here. And let's run this thing again. So I stopped it there, but also just for those who don't have that plugin, I'm just running the Ionic serve. And that's how that guy is getting loaded up. All right, I'm going to pause the video while I get my secret keys from Stripe. While I get for my server, I need my secret key, and then for my app, I need the publishable key. So I'm going to get those from the Stripe console. So let me go do that. So you want to go to your Stripe console. Let me make this big. And make sure you're in test mode. Then under developers, go to your API keys. And this is where you get your keys. You get your publishable key and you get your secret key. All right, so we're back. So now let's see if we can get this going. Import meta.env, I believe is what I want there. And let's give it a run and see what we get. Oh yeah, I forgot. I cannot run this locally, so I have to actually spin up an application. So like I said, I'm back to my tool, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this plugin, and I'm going to add iOS to the project. Oh, I can't run iOS till I do a build. So I'm going to, whenever you see that error, it's kind of weird that when you add it, it can't just automatically build it because it knows it's what you want to do. But it's complaining, saying it's missing a disk directory. That's because I haven't built yet. So let's click on the build icon here, and that will build everything. Okay. Toaster is not found since V3 has become an optional dependency. All right, I will install. I saw this in another thing, and I wanted to do a little bit more research for that. I'm not sure why this just isn't fixed out of the box with Ionic. So let's go back to our terminal. We are going to pause Ion serve. We're going to install Terser. I'm assuming it's a development, so we'll put it in dev. There's install Terser. We'll go back over here and let's try our build again. So our build worked. And let's try. It looks like it already has the iOS thing there, but it's saying update CocoaPods, which is bizarre because it always says that even after you update it, but I will update it anyway. So I can look at my output here, and it says CocoaPod was updated. Be sure to sync your project. So I'm going to sync again. Here's all my plugins and everything being packaged up for me. This thing's complete. Now let's see if we can run our iOS app. It's running executable build, and now here's my app launched. And we have our application with our button. Now let's see. Oh, what we need to do is we need to start our server now also. So we can close this now. And let's find our server terminal. So we have two terminals. This is our server server. And to run our server, all we need to do is node.index.js. And it started up our server. And it's listening. It's listening on port 3000. So let me go back to my home page. Let me go back to my app to make sure that the button that's making that API call, let's go to button, is sending the request to the right place. So IP address, port, I'm not sure what my IP address is, so let me check. All right, that's the right IP address, so I should be good. Well, let's see what happens. I'll be surprised it works the first time, but let's check out. Oh, it did. So we have our card that we're looking for. We have our fake card number is 4111111111111. Let's put the right date in, or a real date that we will work. United States 20011. Pay $10. See the time of 7:41. Click the processing, and it worked. Everything worked successfully. So now let's check out Stripe to kind of see the transaction, so you can see that the transaction did in fact go through. Okay. Okay, so let's look at our logs. And we can see these transactions that were made today. This first one is the post for the payment intent with the amount of $1,000. Well, that's $10. And then this gave me back the intent that I needed, and then I used that intent to actually do the payment. Confirmation automatic, created currency. That's the payment method that's tied to the intent that or the secret that we got before. I didn't give any billing informations. Here's the Visa card. And live mode is set to false, which means it's not real, and the status is succeeded. So the payment went through, and that's what we wanted to see. Maybe if there's enough interest, I'll create a webhook inside the server so that they can see it being processed and saved. Save it to a database and generate an invoice, so we kind of get a complete flow here. Here you can see where the charge was made. Payment intent, charge, attempt, and then succeeded. So we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We've integrated the Stripe plugin into a Vue.js React application that we just ran and tested on device. And once again, we were able to build a mobile application leveraging your existing Vue.js skills and just adding Capacitor. The UI could be any UI that you wanted to. Capacitor is really what did all the magic this time around. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know if this is the kind of content you like, and let me know if you want to see me take this all the way through. Take care, and bye.